So I trust everybody got something to eat. How was it? If I could, big thanks to Penny and Laura and the other ladies that put this together. I've never had a bad meal here, which shows just an investment. So, just to kind of keep us on track, because I've got 1832, everybody hates long meetings that go too long. Anybody that's had my class knows that if you can't get a meeting done in 15 minutes, you've taken way too long. So, that's without speakers. You know what I'm talking about, JD. So, the one person that we had coming from the Camden Frontier trap team, Ellie, she couldn't make it tonight. She's under the weather. But just a few things about that. Last month we collected 12 gauge, 7.5 shot for the trap shooters. We support them. You'll find their information on our Facebook page. And so I encourage everybody to really support that trap team. This is something we really need in America. Kids growing up with weapons, understanding what weapons are for, and using weapons. We had it a long time ago, and somehow we got out of that. Now that we have a trap team in the schools, it's something that we really need to promote and support, and they can't do it without our backing. With that, I'd like to welcome everyone that came and thank everybody for coming tonight. It's kind of a small crowd. Usually we have a little bit bigger crowd than this, but that's okay. It did snow on Halloween, so I get it. So if I could ask for the local business owner, Sara Cares. Is Sara here?
I'm here.
All right. Let's give Sara a warm round of applause. She's going to come up and tell us about her business.
Good evening, everyone. I'm not sure if I need this microphone. I've been a high school coach for 17 years. Trust me, you can hear me across the gym without this. My name is Sara Cares. I was born and raised here in Hillsdale County, graduated from Jonesville. As I said, I've been involved with the schools for a long time. I'm going to give you a little bit of feed and story of how we got to this venue. I've been married for a really long time. I have 2 grown children. They are both out of the house now. We've been empty nesters for 5 years, but up to that point, if you guys ever had kids in schools, you know you never had an evening not doing something, right? They were into everything they could be in. So now that we're empty nesters, we're like, all right, we want to start taking time for us. So for 6 years now, I've had a formal dress closet that I ran for the local school that I coached at. I volunteered my time, collected dresses, never kept any of the money at all. I used it for my entire team. So none of the parents had to ever pay for team shirts, team pictures, team camp, anything, okay? And it grew into a big business now. I've moved it back from the school because I stepped down last year. It was a very hard decision, but again, starting to focus on us. So it's back at my house now, and I've always loved formal dresses. I'm just in awe when somebody walks by. That's just, you know how men look at cars? I look at dresses, right? So I love them. So where we live at used to be my grandparents' property. They had 100 acres. They've all passed many years ago, and everything started getting sold off. So when the last 30 to 40 acres was left, my husband and I decided we wanted to buy it. As for one, it was always called the Hill. That's where us kids hung out at. And because there was 88 acres of fields, and then the rest was kind of swamped, and it's right on the Kalamazoo River and that. So we went ahead and bought that. Well, I stood up in my front yard staring at 14 acres of front yard, thinking I should be able to do something besides mow this every week. So we started getting invited to weddings. I'm sure here recently, the last few years, you guys have been going to weddings that are in more barns than in churches. So I'm like, I can do this. I can do my dresses right in there. I can do other events in there. By trade, I'm the HR coordinator for Martin Maria. So if any of you guys are familiar with our 800 employees, I coordinate stuff all day long. So this is just second nature for me. So 2 years ago, we started building this venue. It is called Memories on the Hill for obvious reasons, because it was built on the hill. It is a 5,000 square foot pole barn. The inside looks like a log cabin. It does have a bride's room, a groom's room, full kitchen, no cooking, due to insurance reasons, but it has everything else, your walk-in refrigerators, your heat boxes and that. It has a full separate bar area, and then dance floor, male bathroom, female bathroom, and then handicap bathroom. So we have plenty of room because we do seat 250 people. So make sure it is heated and air conditioned and completely 100% handicap accessible. That's why we kept it at 250. We could seat 300, but it's not fair for anybody to try to fit through between all those tables, right? And have enough access with the bathrooms and that. So it does sit with the 10 acres. So if it's rented, it's a venue. So it's not just for weddings. So when somebody rents it out, it's got 10 acres on it with the Kalamazoo River, with the bridge going across. My grandfather made us build a few years ago, back in 1987. And that was another reason why we didn't want that property to go to somebody else. Because as a 7th grader, Grandpa had us build that bridge because we were riding the 4-wheelers up and down the road and he didn't like that. He wanted us to go back forth to the fields. So, and then that bridge, over the years, has had all of our graduation pictures there. My husband and I actually got married there when we got married. Other people have too. So we decided to start making it a business. It is not 100% done. We had an open house 2 weekends ago and had a great turnout in that terrible weather. But I will be ready for the spring. That's why I did the open house now. I have Jonesville's prom. I have 4 open houses and 5 weddings booked right now. So it's just an event venue. I've had people get a hold of me to do celebrations of life. I've had people get a hold of me. Somebody wants to do an in-house cornhole league during the winter. I have 22-foot ceilings. I'm fine with it. Move the tables over, throw your bags all you want, just put them back when you're done. It's an event venue, right? Let them have fun. I did have somebody suggest that I do a Ohio-Michigan game. I'm not being a football person, but it will have TV, so if that's what they want to do. I do know I want to stay busy. So like with vendors, when I had my open house, I had a lot of vendors come in, anywhere from Tupperware to honey to wreaths to, I had bridal stuff there too. If I don't stay busy enough, I'm going to create the business. That makes sense, because I can be open all year round, okay? So I plan, put it in your books now, next year in November, I'm going to host a military ball, okay? I have a lot of servicemen and women in my family, and I just have so much respect. So it's going to be open to anybody and everybody that wants to come, service or not. If you can still squeeze back into them, go ahead.
Not gonna happen.
You know? But just stuff like that. Anything, if you can bring it to me. I had a nonprofit get a hold of me last weekend about starting to do their Friday retreats, where all the staff gets together, goes over everything, spends 8 hours together off-site, and that. So honestly, I'm open for about anything. If you guys have good suggestions, and you call me, you say, hey, what can we do? I'm pretty reasonable. For a wedding, I do Friday at noon to Sunday at 10 a.m., so they get the whole weekend, and everything is included, so we do tables and chairs and everything. They can come out and do their rehearsal dinner there. They can, and I have 2 local pizza places. It is in Mosierville. It's a Jonesville address, but it is in Mosierville. But there's 2 local pizza places that will actually deliver to there. We have a deal going. So if people just want to, get something quick for food, rehearsal dinner, all that. They can do their engagement pictures out there, anything they want, and I do $5,000 for the weekend. So honestly, that's a pretty competitive rate for around Hillsdale County. You go any place bigger, it's very competitive. So I'm open to any questions, suggestions, anything. If anybody has any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer them.
What's the craziest wedding you've had at the barn?
I haven't had any. Like I said, I'm just getting ready for next year. But I've had people say suggestions like I was kind of a little worried what's going to happen. Like they're like, well, what about this? What about this? I kind of mess with them all because I do live out in the middle of nowhere. You know how Mosher, Kentucky, okay? When you say neighbors, they may be 3 miles down the road, right? I do have neighbors you can see in the distance. The one's a state trooper, the other's mounted posse. I'm not too worried about too much going on, but per my contract, all music has to stop at midnight, just because nothing good happens after midnight, right? So, yes?
And what about the alcohol? Do you have to get is there regulations for that? Or?
There is. Most of the time, per my contract, you have to have insurance, no matter what, when you use my building. Your homeowner's insurance will give you an insurance policy for a weekend or for an event. It's usually around $100 and it goes up to $3 million so that you're covered out there liability-wise as well if you supply the alcohol. Traveling bartenders usually carry their tips license so they can have the alcohol on site. Or I do have a young lady who has just her license, that doesn't do anything with the alcohol. She'll just sit on site where somebody else, where other people can serve them. Yeah, because I'm not going in to get a liquor license or anything like
Right.
that. It's just kind of a, you know, I just have the bar area so when they need it, like for prom, I told them they could use it for the like chocolate fountain or something, you know, be creative out there. Anybody else?
Did you advertise your establishment for your open house in Coldwater?
I did. I did a little bit of everywhere, honestly. Facebook is people's friends, okay? So I did a lot on there. Hillsdale Daily News actually covered it, and Hillsdale College just came out this week after to cover it, since once they knew what I was doing and that. I had it out for quite a few places. I didn't put it like on the radio or anything, so but I said it was in the paper and that. So you guys are welcome to stop out anytime. Usually I am out there, once I get out of work, I go out there at night, and I'm continuing to keep working. Weekends, I'm always in there on the weekends doing stuff. We have cars just show up. People just pull in and go, okay, you were out here, we want to see what it is. And they come look at it. I have no problem showing my building to anybody. Just see the process, right? It's not quite done. Yes,
No more questions, I guess.
that's okay. I'll talk to you all night.
Outside of your business, you said you're HR for Martin Reno?
Yes.
How was that like during COVID?
I was the masked police. It was mandatory, over the nose, under the chin, had to be ours. It was a little rough.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it was a little rough. We have 800 employees, and some people, you know, believed and some didn't. So, but it became like Menards, where part of our uniform had to be worn. So it was a little rough. The strike didn't touch us though. We've been doing good with that. We got through that all right. Anything else? All right. Thank you for your time. I appreciate the invite tonight.